Hey guys, welcome back to Under the Radar Books. I'm Brittany, and today I want to talk about the Dewey's 24-hour readathon and what I was able to read during that time. Originally, when I signed up for the readathon, I didn't have any plans at all, so I was planning to read as much as I possibly could for that 24 hours. But in the middle of last week, my sisters and I realized we were all free for the first time in so long, and we decided to take a little road trip together to the ocean, and so that is actually what I was doing this weekend. So I still tried to participate as much as I could. I set my alarm for 4:45 because for me the start time was 5 a.m. and I actually sat in the bathtub with a bunch of pillows at the hotel so I didn't wake up my sisters. So I read for like a solid 3 hours right in the beginning, and then throughout the day I tried to fit in some time to read, and then at night I was hoping to stay up late and read a lot more, but I just totally crashed because the night before I only had 4 hours of sleep, and so I got to this point where my brain just couldn't even like compute the information at all. So anyways, the first book that I read in the morning was The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, and this is by the author of Gone Girl and Dark Places and Sharp Objects. She's a great thriller writer, and this is actually a short ghost story, and I really enjoyed this a lot. I found it creepy, I found it menacing. It follows a young woman who is involved in a shady kind of fortune-telling situation, and she gets asked by a woman to come to her house and to bless it and make it safe because she believes that the house is haunted and maybe her stepson is haunted as well. And it was very ambiguous ending. It was very open-ended, which I actually enjoy quite a bit because I like to theorize what might have happened or what could have happened. And yeah, I just found it really interesting. I think this could be a great movie. I would love to watch this as a scary movie, so I give this one 4 stars. And then right after that, I picked up Baba Yaga's Assistant. This is by Marika Mukula and illustrated by Emily Carroll, who is someone I absolutely adore her illustrations. This is about a young girl who loses her mother when she's young and then is raised by her dad and her grandmother. Her grandmother then passes away as well, and ever since she's just having a really hard time fitting in. She doesn't feel important, she doesn't feel loved, and her dad meets a new woman who also has a daughter, and they decide to get married, and so she decides she's going to run off and answer an ad to be Baba Yaga's assistant, which is I think it's a Russian folk tale that they say that Baba Yaga eats children, and that's how they get children to behave properly, so they threaten them and say oh, Baba Yaga's gonna come get you if you don't do this. So anyways, it sounded creepy, and I really loved this. I gave this 5 stars because it just reminded me of being a child, reading under my covers at night and sneaking in those stories, and it was just so good. I really loved it. I just want to read it again and again. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Let me find a really good page. It's just absolutely stunning. It was whimsical, it was creepy, and I just loved it. I love the ending, so please pick this up. I'm so glad that I bought it because I just want to own it and look at it and get to revisit it and load it out to people, so definitely pick this one up. And then the last book that I finished, I read this throughout the day as we were out and about, when we stopped for meals and things like that. I picked it up and would read at the time, and so this is The Library of Unrequited Love by Sophie DeVry, and I was really disappointed in this. I didn't like it nearly as much as I thought I was going to. There were parts that I really enjoyed, and there were a few quotes that I underlined and absolutely loved because I love books about books, and so this had some really great quotes about the love of literature, the love of books, the love of libraries, which I obviously can't get enough of. But this is told in second person. And so it's about a woman who's a librarian. She works downstairs in not a very good section, kind of hidden in the stacks. And a man, I believe it's a man, he falls asleep in the library and gets locked in overnight. And so she comes in the morning and kind of goes off on this huge tangent about her life story and different patrons that come into the library and the hierarchy of the library workers and, history about libraries. And some stuff was really, really interesting, but other stuff was just, I don't know, it just felt almost like a monologue, a really long monologue, and it just got really dry in places, and I didn't like the character at all, so I think that was difficult. She wasn't endearing in any form of way, so I wasn't rooting for her. I didn't want to know more about her, so I think I struggled with that a little bit, so I gave this one 2 stars. I am going to hang on to it. I'm interested to read it again because I don't know if maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. So, yeah, 2 stars for this one. And then that night, when I had finished that at the hotel, I decided to pick up The Beauty by Allie Whiteley, and I was really excited to get to this one, and I pretty much read 4 pages in like 20 minutes because I just couldn't like get my brain to function. I was so tired, could barely keep my eyes open, and I knew that me and my sisters had to get up early to get home the next day, and so I just decided to call it a night and go to sleep. So I read a little bit more on the way home, so I'm like a little bit less than halfway, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It is really, really eerie and spooky, and the writing is fantastic. This is about an area in the world where I believe all around the world women have passed away, and then only the men are left, but they're living in this certain like colony that's in a valley, so they're very separated from other people. And the protagonist is a younger boy. I think he's probably like late teens or early 20s, and he's the storyteller, so he kind of documents the past of their village, and as they go along he like tells the story so they remember who they are and what they've experienced. And he's really interesting, and what happens is this fungus starts to grow out of where the bodies of the women are buried, and so he and then the fungus actually comes alive and kind of takes on the traits of a female form, and basically almost takes the memories of the person that was buried there. And so they start, you know, intermingling with these fungus creatures, and it's just like so odd and so weird and so fascinating and creepy. So I'm really excited to finish it. I'm hoping to finish it today, so I will tell more about it in my wrap-up. So those are the 4 books that I read 3 books and then read a little bit more of the 4th, and even though I didn't read too much, I still had a really great time participating. I love talking to everybody on Twitter about it and watching everybody's TBRs and wrap-ups. I will definitely be participating in October, and hopefully I will be free to do all kinds of reading and really be able to participate as much as possible. I love how each time I do a readathon, I learn a little bit more about what works for me and what doesn't. So in this one, I thought that I would try a bunch of short books and see how that went. And I don't know if that's the right strategy either, honestly. I think that for next time I'm going to try picking, I think it's great to have graphic novels, so like to read a graphic novel in between each book that you read, which is wonderful, I think. But next time I think I'm going to try picking books that are really, really fast paced and maybe not so much character driven, but more plot driven, so that I am so absorbed in the story that I don't want to put it down, and then have some graphic novels available and maybe some shorter text to read in between to kind of break it up and keep my momentum going. So I'm going to try how that goes. With these, reading a bunch of different short books, I think it's difficult to jump into a world over and over and over again and not feel like you're really getting a full experience. So I don't even know if that makes sense, but yeah, I definitely won't pick all short books next time. I think I'm going to do a variety. So yeah, I had such a great time. I would love to know how you guys did in Dewey's, and if you participated, if you plan on participating next time, I would love to know. And also if you've read any of these books that I mentioned, I'd love to know that too. And until next time, happy reading, guys.